Set your butane torches to high and your expectations to low. Coming to you from the cigar cave in the hills of the Steel City. Get ready to get your fix. This is the Cigar Junkies Podcast. Welcome to the Cigar Junkies Podcast.
The cigar show for the community, by the community.
A forum to talk stogies, booze, food, and anything else in the cigar lifestyle.
If you're looking for ratings, negativity, or an authority on all things cigars, you came to the wrong place.
Whether you like what you hear or not, please join the conversation and let us know by finding us
At the Cigar Junkies Facebook group.
or contacting us at thecigarjunkies@gmail.com.
What's up, junkies?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, this is wrong.
It is.
Just
It
feels
is.
so wrong and yet so right.
Yeah, it's an impromptu pop-up episode of the Cigar Junkies, and we have some special guests for you guys today. We've got the man himself, Mickey Pegg of All Saints Cigars, and then we've got our good friend Mike King, who happens to represent that particular brand.
Absolutely.
So Mickey happened to be jumping on an airplane, and I went ahead and ambushed him.
I love it.
And asked if he had any room on his itinerary. He was gracious enough to swing by to the lowest production budget podcast he's ever been on. I'm sure.
No. I think we tried to retrofit this in the last time I was here, but this is my first pop-up podcast.
Whoa.
Usually already scheduled. And
That's a good term. Pop-up podcast.
yeah, that's what
His branding.
yeah.
I went with that one. I was like, oh, okay, well, pop-up's a thing. Why not? Let's do it.
He likes to pop up.
But what's popping up? You know,
My sausage.
you're talking about people's
I
sisters
knew it was
earlier.
coming.
Mhm. Set him up, knock him down.
Dun, dun.
So
I mean, that was an easy one. Low-hanging fruit. Suits us.
yeah, I wouldn't ready it though. So we got a couple of kids in the audience. Scotty Robinson of Loomis Beyond the Humidor fame,
Oh, yeah.
watching with mad jealousy as he sees Mickey Pegg grace our presence before his.
Oh, stop it.
Finally.
Some things are just better on the East Coast. I don't know what else to say
Where's
about
he
it.
at?
They're in California somewhere.
Oh, no kidding. That's
yeah,
why.
not the nice part.
Yeah.
I don't think somewhere up north.
Oh, yeah.
Loomis. They're in Loomis, California.
Oh, there you go. I never heard of it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I've said it a bunch of times and didn't even know it was a thing.
I didn't either.
Yeah. There you go. How you like that, Scotty?
Yeah. So, what's going on? What is the itinerary while you are in the Berg?
Mike's pretty much got that one. This was I know we're doing a holiday celebration on Friday. Popping in and seeing some old friends and some new friends, and
Before Mike answers that question, that was the coolest thing. It was like, hey, what do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. You got to talk to my people. Like,
Nice.
I got
I didn't say
people
my
for
people.
that.
I said Mike's got my
That,
schedule.
you said
that was
my
the
people.
translation. It was, I got people for that. I ain't got to know
You got
shit.
people. Yeah.
It's got people's first people.
Yeah.
No, Mike knows me well enough who we want to see, what you see, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but if I travel with one of my brokers or sales guys or whatever, I like them to be in charge. It's their territory. It's their baby, and I don't want to disrupt their mechanisms.
And it's much appreciated from brokers when they allow us to do that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I travel a little bit different than some of the other people. I don't know.
Yeah, you're all over the place. You just kind of like pop. Like I just see on Facebook, like he's here now. He's here now. He's over
Yeah,
there.
this is my last flight of the year.
Okay.
So,
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, so I go home Saturday. I got a party to go to that night with some friends, which will be great because I haven't seen them for the last couple months. And then working like the local territory where I live, right outside of Philadelphia, for some events, some pop-ups, and helping them work the humidors and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then I don't really have. I might do some travel in January, but I know I'm going back down to the factory on the 21st. Puro Sabor, the Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, is going to be going on. But I'll be in the factory for the factory tours, and I might make a couple dinners. I'm not actually doing like all their daily events through that week. Still getting stuff done.
Well, you just got back, right?
Yeah, but January is always a good time to go down there. You'll see a lot of people down in the factories, like the last couple of weeks going into when they close, because they close for about 3 weeks, just to get stuff done. And then January and February are a good time to spend a lot of time down in the factory, just because
It's cold everywhere else.
Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also it's like you can get a lot done, and just because March sits around, selling season's back on, so
Yeah, that's cool.
So you got to put that hat back on, and then you can get a lot done, and then you either pop down there before the big trade show or afterwards, just make sure everything's running right. Just to stay on top of things. They're doing a lot of good things down there, but you just want to stay on top of what you own and what you do.
Oh, cool. Better. All right.
Yes, sir. Trying to talk behind the scenes on the production.
That's I gave
Camera
up. I'm just like, is it?
Yeah, I
good?
got onto that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point we just have to.
You had
start
my
speaking.
my amazing physique featured.
Now we
so,
now we
yeah.
got both, so we're good.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're solidly.
It was all right. It was
squared
just
away.
it was just half of Mickey's head, and when I get another beautiful, beautiful bald man, it is a lot. Is a head of reasonable size.
Right.
He went to sit down, and for a moment, you just eclipsed everything in the garage, and I was like, "Oh no, are we going to be able to see anything else?" Although,
That's why I have my hat on still.
I didn't realize you were such a big guy. When I met you in Vegas, and you went like this, and you put your arm around me, and you just kind of like snuggled me in, and I felt very comfortable, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's like that."
yes, sir, whatever you want.
I learned that in prison. Yeah.
There you go.
No, speaking of bald guys, so we featured you as one of our guys on the bald guys of cigars.
I saw that. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a couple minutes ago, and I can't remember. We never did like establish a winner, but I know that Corey didn't win, so that's
No,
the
I
important
did.
part.
I did not. No.
Actually, you got a surprisingly low amount of votes considering it was on our page.
Yeah, on the Facebook group that I created, so it's very rewarding.
I feel like Scott got.
Well, there's
I
a
think it was
true
Scotty
bald and
Robinson.
a shaved bald. Like
Yeah.
you still shave your head.
Wait,
Then, like I still shave my head, but I refuse to grow my hair out because I'm gonna look like the creepy candy man down the road with the van.
yeah,
so
no,
you know,
I'm George Costanza.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, we went into this recently, but when I started this job, it was like initially like, oh, you're going to have to grow your hair out so we could drug test you. And then you're going to have to shave your face for a respirator fit test and wear glasses. And I was like, I don't know if this job's worth looking like George Costanza for.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the prettiest as it is, but at the same time, it could get a lot worse, and I had no interest in that.
Yeah, you get the little monk. What do you call it? The little monk cut that goes around.
the
the
horseshoe.
backside. The horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scotty Robinson just reminded me that he did win. Actually, he had the most votes.
Wow.
So he just he had the whole
Good for
like
you, Scotty.
FBI agent thing kicking though.
Oh, yeah?
he was rocking. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He had it pulled off.
Well,
He's got the dirt in his profile. He's got the Dirk Diggler sunglasses on.
Oh yeah, that and that's I think that's why he won because they're like,
I like how on the ball Mickey is. He's just like, okay, yep, we're going to creep on Scotty and figure out who this
find
guy
out
is.
Who he is.
Fuck, everybody creeps on me. He's like the Nubian Dirk Diggler.
that's hilarious.
That is well stated, sir.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he won. Looks like he uses a little buffer.
yeah.
I've tried
Oh,
to use
yeah.
that before. I can't buff. You
He's
know,
got it
make
all
a good
polished
shine.
on.
Yeah, I can't do the polish.
Well,
I
so
can't afford the polish. I just started the fucking cigar company.
Hey, I'm
probably
opening
never
a
will.
cigar shop. I understand. I
Right,
understand. But no, yeah. So I think the round 2 is going to come out soon of that. I forgot to talk to you about that, but I got a whole new list. I think I'm still going to add you though, just so you can kind of like it's a pity entry.
Well, you could always do what's Goltzy's favorite term. You could have who has the best gherkin.
Gherkin, yeah.
Merkin. There it is.
Merkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Merkins. When I golf and you get under that ball, it's nice. The little Merkin flies through the air. That's what we call them in golf.
Yeah.
Merkins.
I
Oh,
do
were we talking about the same Merkin?
understand
Bait
that
and
reference.
Merkins?
So the reason that's called a merkin is because
It's a bush.
it was the fake bush. Well,
Yeah.
he's been dubbed
It's a
merkin mouth.
toupee for your crotch.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
so- well, we can have you and Mickey again if we do that.
That's right.
Yeah, who's the
And Steve Saka, there'd be a lot of
Merkin
repeats.
mouth.
Yeah,
Because the
but
thing
why does
is-
anybody want to deal with a gray Merkin? I mean, that's some old snaggletooth lady.
Well, I mean, look, carpet drapes. Like you know,
Merkin
you got to do
mouth.
what you got to do.
That's going to
But you
stick in
can't
my head.
You
for the
can't
longest
see a
time.
Merkin, right? Merkin's supposed to be inside the bathing suit.
It's supposed
Well,
to be.
yeah, but if the bathing suit's off, I mean, we have the internet.
Then you don't have the Merkin.
Listen,
anymore.
I've never heard of Merkin, but I'm fascinated. I'm going to be thinking about this all night long now.
It's a
I'm just letting you know.
it's a vaginal toupee that was
Yeah.
created to cover up when women had STDs back in the 1800s.
Or also people would shave so they wouldn't get
Yeah.
crabs and stuff like that, and then they had them. So it looked like, and it's perfectly.
Yeah, formed and depth.
Man,
and,
I hope
You
my
guys are-
wife and mother and all this shit's on this.
So
My daughters
I
listen to this show too.
was
Cindy
really
has
hoping
been
they were
asking
live.
what I should get her for Christmas, but guess what?
I wouldn't go that route.
I want to check Amazon just for the hell of it.
Oh, okay. Now, as long as it's a joke gift, now I'm for it.
Oh, you know I like
Alibaba's
I love-
probably got a
Maybe-
bunch of them.
We
I
should
love
get
to
one.
fuck
I feel
with
like
her.
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can get one.
Dude,
for
I'm
her.
going to look at it right now.
Should get one for the
I'm
silly
totally
sausage.
looking this up.
Oh yeah, we can get a silly sausage merkin.
Yeah,
Just really just
on.
go all out on
MER.
very good.
What will it
MER.
if you do that, what will it identify as?
as a sausage.
So Mickey is finding out really fast
It's on Amazon.
what our format is like.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Merkin pubic wig.
Oh yeah.
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 It's like I think we just changed Mike's life.
You did. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, Yeah, totally. It says gag gift. Oh yeah, this is going to be great.
That's
Yeah,
because
because-
if you're not careful, you'll gag.
Yeah,
Listen,
you're gagging, exactly.
Listen, if you can't find me after the New Year, it's because my wife buried me somewhere around Pittsburgh. So
And if you do see
Yeah.
him and he's got hair between his teeth, don't
yeah,
tell him.
yeah.
She made him.
Oh my God, yeah. That's definitely going on the Christmas list.
Don't worry, Mike. Mick, we've all done it. The pop filters are full of
yes.
cigar ash.
Yeah.
He's doing the cigar smoker dance over there.
Yeah.
wiping
Well, that's why I
it.
wear vests because I get freaking ashes all over the place.
Genius.
So, Mick, what are we smoking, man?
You're smoking the Dedicacion, which is the first cigar that we actually came to market with, and got a 91 and a half wheel right away. So we were still new, and so we were blessed to have some kind of nice rating from those guys to create some chatter. Because I was out of the business for a minute. Some people will say an hour. But what that cigar has is we use a San Andres wrapper from Mexico in there. One of the tobaccos I like to talk about a lot that's in there is from a region called Jalapa. And we know, basically all the regions. And that Jalapa, Jalapa is going to give you that sweet. I have a really good sweet tooth. So I don't know if it's good, but I like it. I like sweet stuff. That's why I like bourbons. When I'm in the factory, I don't even take bourbons down there. I drink the rum, the Florida Cognac when I'm down there.
There you go.
I went through pallets of it last week when I was down there. But yeah, so I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, and I thought it'd match up with this double rye from High West. So it's you get that, get it like a really kind of like that sweet with maybe like a little bit of gas, a little bit of burn, just a little bit, because I often talk about this cigar from 1 to 10. I would say it's like a 5 on the strength scale, but you're still going to get a lot of flavor and a lot of body.
Yeah.
So when I sometimes accidentally say body, but I'm actually talking about the strength.
Yeah.
So. And it's just, I love it. So, and then we, I don't know how far we're going to get along, but you guys got a little bit of everything in here today for you guys to.
Oh, yeah.
I have not tried the Colorado yet. The rest of your lineup I've had.
That's actually my favorite one.
I haven't had the Colorado.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot of great response on it. Actually, Boston Jimmy gave us Cigar of the Year with that for small micro boutique cigar last year. And it's getting a lot of attention. It's the third one we took to market.
Okay.
So obviously the St. Francis has got, so if you talk about chatter and sales and stuff like that, Dedication is doing very good. The most is probably coming out of St. Francis. The most up and coming is the Colorado. And then the Habano, which we just released. We actually ran out of it. We're getting back in. A little bit of chatter about it out there, but not much. But I'm anticipating good chatter. So
Nice.
Don't expect to get a lot of chatter from this show. The people in the chat room are pretty much they're it.
Yeah.
There's no real hiding it. But I do want to do something that I never do. I'm going to compliment 2 people at the same time. So I do have a cigar of the month package that I get with a few cigars in it every month.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that I got this month was this cigar that we're smoking.
From Sam?
Well, so no. I know who you're referring to there. We try not. We're so small. We don't want to advertise for anybody. That's why I'm dancing around the name.
brands.
Yeah, it's because we're tiny. You don't need the ad space. We do. So if you're gonna throw us something, okay.
Right.
Yeah. But basically, what happened was I saw that cigar and I set it to the side because I wanted Sam to smoke it because I know he's had some of your stuff, but I didn't know how much, and I wanted to.
This Sam.
I wanted him
just to tip Sam.
That's right, just to tip Sam. Or silly
Please,
Sam.
you won't get pregnant. Just a tip. And if we do it standing up, the gravity will pull it down.
Damn, he knows all the tricks.
Oh, he's gone all.
That's from
I
a
imagine
movie.
you would have to.
Sam,
hold
that's
him
your
up
new
in the air.
commercial.
That's right.
That's from a movie.
Yeah.
Now he actually, for somebody who named his shop after something that's so on the money, risque. He's very opposed to bringing in anything else and shining the light on
I
it.
still don't know why everybody says it's risque.
When I put your
don't get it.
paperwork in, people
tip
ask
in
me
my
if I'm joking.
Because I made a commercial for him, for the show. And at the end of the commercial, I says, go to just a tip for the whole package. And he thought that was too much. I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about that whenever I said it. But anyways, the bottom line is I would put this cigar to the side because I wanted to make sure that Sam had another go at it whenever he was picking up stuff to carry for the shop. And now that you've come and graciously give us,
Did you not like it the first time or something?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
I just wasn't sure
Yeah.
if he'd had it or what his opinion was. So I wanted to make sure that he carried your cigars.
Thank you.
And now I'm happy to know that I don't have to share with him because you brought some with you. So, it all worked out really well.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
No, I really enjoy it. When I don't know if we got it on in the live or not, but the double rye you said would go well with it. Normally we try and drink contrasting pairings.
Yeah, this is a complimentary.
This is a really good complementary pairing. I
do both. It depends on my mood.
Yeah, same here, but I generally it's easier to do contrasting pairing. Sweet, savory. Like that's pretty easy to figure out. But I the pepper of the double rye,
right,
really good with the sweetness, like you were saying.
It depends on my mood, and I sat there and I said, you know what, like when I went there, and I got it here, so it's like I didn't bring anything because I hate fucking checking luggage.
Yeah.
With even when I go to Nicaragua.
So I guess that means that you don't bring any Florida Cognac with you.
No, when I come back, sometimes I do. It depends on what I'm doing, but like I have an expandable luggage, so if I have to bring stuff back, I can expand it and check it.
Pop it up a little bit, yeah.
Freaking checking luggage back into Philadelphia.
She said.
Blows,
still slow.
blows.
Oh yeah.
It either adds 10 minutes or 40 minutes to your thing. So, I saw that. I'm like, hey, yeah, let's try this. And it was funny because we were at a shop earlier today, and a guy came by to pick up cigars, and he was doing one for a tasting that he was picking
whiskey
up from,
tasting, right?
Yeah, whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
My first question, with an E or without an E, because I'm an E guy.
Yeah.
Now my partner Frank Leo, he's a Y guy. He's Y solely. He likes the scotches.
I'm an E as well.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do Woodford, and I think they were pairing it up with an Oscar, and he picked up I think one of my cigars to taste, but I mean that was already pre-planned.
Yeah.
Sean already had that set up, but it was just really cool, like complimentary. We were saying that had the same conversation, contradict or complimentary or whatever, or conflicting or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So it's always fun, and I think that's what makes. You can have the same kind of things over and over again. You can have the same whiskeys. You can have the same cigar, or if you're sober or whatever, you can have the same whatever, and have that. You can. It's just how you move stuff around. It's like moving around tobacco with different percentages and in different architecture in a cigar. It's the same thing. Yeah,
it's awesome. I mean, we were talking last week about like things that people don't generally think about for pairing, like root beer. Like that root beer goes really well with a lot of cigars. Because
absolutely
you get that sweetness kick, and it's to me, it's generally similar to like a rum. Like it's that sweet, so you get that. But like this same cigar would go with root beer, would go with rum, would go with this. And it's cool, like you said. It's the same cigar, 3 different experiences.
Well, you talk about root beer, and I'm a soda guy too. But right now I'm not supposed to be soda. I gained 16 pounds since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. But I was out in Minnesota, and I was with a lot of sober people. And sober shops, sober smokers. I just happened to be in with a bunch of sober community, so I was like the little freaking monkey boy. They kept making me drink because they wanted to live vicariously or something, or they were trying to recruit somebody back to their side. Either way, but it was funny because we were doing a lot of root beer pairings.
Yeah.
And Minnesota has all these different style root beers and that type of stuff, and it was really cool.
And their cream sodas,
and I think I freaking gained 6 pounds just in Minnesota between the Juicy Lucy's and all the root beers because I loved all that stuff.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
If I wasn't a diabetic going out there, I was a diabetic coming home. I probably should get tested.
You guys got what's it called, a candy shop or something down on the strip? They got all those flavored sodas in there. I don't know if they're local or not, but I saw when I was in there, there's like a whole wall of them.
I don't know, but I'm going to try switching this real quick. If I break it, I'll fix it.
All right.
But I'm going to do it while I'm talking instead of somebody else. So let's see.
It's time for the Cigar of the Week, brought to you by Leaning House.
Wrong button. All right. I pushed a couple of things.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see if I did what I intended to do. Okay. So far, we're good. Okay.
Wait,
so I had a set up for Friday.
Oh, okay.
So because...
Who do you got Friday?
Sam, I told you.
You got Mo from Patina.
Fucking love Mo.
I love that dude. And the cigar.
When's the last time you smoked a cigar?
About once a week.
Really, and the last time I smoked one of his cigars, and I have some at home, so I really should, is about 2 months ago. I really love what he's doing with that brand, and with the smoke, and it's solid, it's clean.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we were talking about last time I was here. Yeah.
So first of all, like if you look at some of my branding, I like that clean, crisp. I keep saying simple, and my wife gets mad at me.
Yeah.
She goes, "Quit using the word simple. People know what you mean, but like, clean, crisp." I love what he's doing and the brand, and his uncle I used to work with. His uncle used to be on my sales squad in my old days, and so Mo and we connected when I first got back in TPE, and we weren't showing at that TPE, and we got the chance to talk and smoke, and we have a lot of mutual friends, so that's awesome. Tell Mo I said hi.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll send you guys the Zoom link if you got like 20 minutes on Friday. You can call in.
I'm very busy.
Just piss him off.
I'm a very
So
busy
the
man.
problem that
talk to my
calling is
people.
fine.
Talk to you. Yeah. All right. Let me
talk to
check out the
people.
schedule. Yeah.
The
Friday, what time are you guys going live on Friday? 6?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not selling a box of cigars at 6,
Yeah. Just call
Then
in.
you're
give him
not
a
doing your
shout, say, hey.
job,
yeah.
right? No. So the thing is, I hate Zoom for several reasons. I told you that when you guys got here that we prefer to have people in studio or in garage. But the thing that I hate about it is that beyond the lack of personality to it is that then you got to change the setup for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to set up how the audio works here because otherwise you get a stupid delay from Zoom.
Have you used Yardbird?
I think we're going to end up doing StreamYard.
Bro, let me tell you something. I'm doing a lot. I do podcasts quite a bit, and all these people that have gravitated to Yardbird, supposedly on your side, it's a bitch to get it up and running.
But once you do,
once you do, you don't have to do it for every podcast. You just your initial setup, how you do it.
Man, I'm a little bald guy. How come you're
You
picking
said
on me? I gotta set this shit up, and you're gonna,
No, but I from what I understand, it's a one-time setup that you guys do, and it's actually just to build out to your production or however you fabricate.
There is no you guys, Mickey. There's just me.
Yeah.
I show up and talk, bud. Sometimes I bring cigars.
This is like Johnny Uncuts, like Hytham does everything, right? No, but you do that and you send the link to us or the people that you're doing. Man, it's freaking it's amazing. And it's like all I can do is click this and unhit mute.
And that may help. The issue
and their
is
speed and the delay, like the delay is much less.
Oh,
so like if I have time, especially when you have a thing, I have time to maybe go look for somebody and give them a shout out or something. It's a little bit more timely too.
That's
Nice.
cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look.
I don't know if it's expensive or not, but
Ooh, that's his department.
Yeah. Well. So
I'm tired of
Scott
paying for
says
shit.
StreamYard is the bomb.
yeah, that's what the Beyond the Humidor guys use.
Beyond the guys.
They've kind of sold me on it, but I'll look into Yardbird and see kind of what it's because
I tried to be on that show, but they wouldn't have me, so I had to come. I had to come to
those
Pittsburgh.
bastards, they're like that, man.
God, he didn't want you to show him up. Better looking bald man.
Nah, he's the best looking guy. Look at
But
it.
he says he uses baby oil. That's the secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Got it pulled off.
Yeah, it causes
Yeah.
complications. But
Right.
the biggest problem is it takes
You
away.
know how hard
I don't
it is
have
to
my
squeeze the
buttons.
oil out of those little babies.
Oh, I'm not going there.
There we go.
Yeah,
glad you
Seth
got that
Jones
one.
says, "Don't you dare say chocolate milk again." All
So-
right, what was that? What's the
So
story behind
last
that?
week
that
when we
mean?
were talking about pairing different cigars,
Okay.
or, like putting stuff with it, I said chocolate milk's actually not bad. Like somebody said it while I was doing a live, and I
Yeah.
was like, screw it, I got chocolate milk. I'll
All
go
right.
try.
Seth, I'm gonna say it. I love pairing cigars with chocolate milk. I've never done it, but I will now just because of that.
Yeah, don't worry
Yeah.
about Seth.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I
yeah.
can't.
We love Seth, but he clearly has no taste. He actually drove down here from Connecticut to watch this in
Yeah.
person.
Like he
Oh
just
wow,
showed up while we were doing the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
that's amazing and creepy at the same time.
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
for
Cool
me.
as shit.
I
You
didn't
know
know he
what,
was coming.
Dojo does that, man, and it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean it was cool. He texted me. We didn't tell Corey, and
Yeah.
all Corey got was just this giant man walking up the driveway. And he's
Oh,
like,
he says giant man.
I
I'm
have
gonna
a bad feeling about this.
yeah, I'm gonna start clowning on you, Seth. Now I just heard you were a giant man, so
he's about
forgive
your
me.
size.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
good size.
I
dude.
love Seth.
Must be a
That's the
smart
same.
guy. I love him.
I got new buttons.
I can tell.
Yeah,
As you,
Do you want the push, Liam?
That's right.
you know, it's funny with pairings. I get asked all the time.
You get ass all the time.
Asshole all the time. Yes, absolutely. I'll give you more details later.
You can give them
Yeah.
now.
Well,
It's
Sam
not a
gave you the
kid-friendly
details. We
show.
went through it already.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
another conversation,
Yeah.
another time.
Wait, you
No.
went through? Who went through what?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Lord.
you were about to tell us a story.
So I get asked all the time
Oh, with a K. All right.
with a K,
Oh.
about pairings. all the time.
It's a great cigar bar in Media, Pennsylvania. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it is. There's a shout out for pairings in Media, Pennsylvania. There's a great cigar bar, but
Nice.
it honestly comes down to your personal preference. I mean, I know a guy's been smoking. He's in charge of a big New York group, and he only drinks Diet Mountain Dew with his cigars.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, there you go. Look at that.
The palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Right there. Monsters work well.
Yeah,
too.
he's New York's Grown and Sexy in the City cigar group. First one ever in New York. Kevin Bristow, Senior Cigar, is the president, and that's all he drinks with Diet Mountain Dew with his cigars every single time.
Mickey, you look jealous. Do you need a Diet Mountain Dew? Because we got more.
No. So I drive. Anybody that rides with me, like as soon as I land, I don't want to hear about fucking food. You should have ate before you got in the goddamn car. Let's go fucking sell. It's expensive to get in, right? My diet consists of Diet Mountain Dew, beef jerky, and bananas.
All right, you covered me and my wife.
So he's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, any rep on the road, especially when you're riding a principal, if you don't eat in the morning,
you're not eating.
You're not eating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, there's certain times, but I do want to eat, but it's like I get so you're maximizing, your dollar cost average, like what it does, what it costs, and then you have a mind of what do you want to get. But we're a young company, so you got to understand that you lose money on a week when you're out traveling, and that's just the nature of it. But exposure, you got to be visible, and you got to follow up.
What is it? The smokestack. They often have hot dog bar at their events.
At their events.
We actually ate at Josh's restaurant last time we were in town.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever done
I ate
that.
the left side of the menu.
Yeah.
He ate the right side of the menu, and then we shared the back side of the menu, and we took stuff home for
We
Cindy.
did, yeah.
And then I made him mule wine across the state back for me. They had one of their one of the owners owns a vineyard.
Oh wow!
And so I said to the guy, so what's the deal on this wine? Like I see the restaurant price. I go, how much for a case? He goes, same price. And I go,
did we just become best friends? Yep.
Aw, stepbrothers. So he goes, and I'm like, all right, let me take a bottle back. And, it was like a Bordeaux style, but I thought it was it tasted more like a Zinfandel, but it was absolutely delicious. So I take it. So Mike finally gets back on the east side of I say the East Coast, the east side of Pennsylvania, and gets the wine. And I said, honey, put that wine out, because my wife does every Thursday night. She does steak night. Ooh. She makes steak. She's very good, very talented.
Nice.
And she'll have wine. So I get it, and I'm usually not home on a Thursday night. If I am, if I walk in, don't ruin my steak night.
Yeah.
So she knew I was coming that night. I get there, and I'm like, the bottle was gone. And did you like it? She goes, I absolutely loved it. So.
So you had to mule a bunch across the state for him?
Well,
it was one bottle, but
sounds like I'm going to have to do it again.
It sounds like Mrs. Pegg has the same superpower as my wife, making wine disappear.
Yes, yes.
That is definitely one of my wife's
strengths. She works her ass off, and she's the glue behind our families.
I will say she is awesome. Kimmy is awesome.
No, that's
for a white girl.
Yeah, for a white girl, she is awesome. Yeah. Well, for
you
the
guys
record,
I respect it, but you guys keep saying shit that scares me to say.
Oh well, I am married to a black woman from Brooklyn, so that's why we say those little things. Yeah. It's funny because
he's in the club. He can say shit that I can't.
It was funny because
I don't think that was bad.
I went to Drexel University. My wife had friends. She goes, "Aren't you afraid of him being 42 years old and going to Drexel with all those beautiful women out there?" She said, "Yeah, most of them are white. I'm not worried."
Damn. All right. I think it's the hat.
It is the hat.
I think it's why you get so much ask.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about ask. So a lot of times when I'm going in, and when I first got started, I'm doing all the cold calls by myself, and I'm going in. Fortunately, I had a lot of friends to help me, get kick started. And I'd go in, and they're like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was here if I could talk about my cigars, blah blah blah. I just wanted to drop off some samples." You do that whole kind of soft and because if they're angry, then you leave, or no, sit down, let's have a cigar. Who you with? Especially if they're busy, they don't want some random sales guy coming in. They're like, all states. No, I already have insurance. Told you fuckers not to come around knocking on my door again. You and those goddamn phone guys that keep coming in here and trying to sell me shit. I'm like, it's All Saints. What? All Saints cigars. Now I look like I'm special, and so it was kind of funny, All State cigars.
You're in good hands.
Yeah.
Like no, like that, like
Go ahead.
New Orleans.
Just
like
a
the
tip.
Saints.
There you go. There you go, Mick. Mick gave me this quick look like I want to, but I don't know if I should. Yes, you should.
Well, I gotta watch. God, guys. So Scar Pulpit.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. So I did a thing with them. And we didn't start until like 11 o'clock, and I'd already hit the bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you listen to that, my wife listened to it, and she was horrified.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I'm marbles in my mouth, and I told a story about
Yeah,
that I shouldn't
marbles.
told. Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
There
One
you
of
go.
those days. I want to ask you. You had you posted a picture the other day of you and Skip, and you looked like you were like laser focused on whatever you two were talking about. And I just want to know what the conversation was.
He was trying to tell me how big his dick was, and I didn't believe him. No.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense now.
So no. So Skip and I are definitely friends, and he has a lot more knowledge than I do. So obviously, and I'm never afraid to admit that. And we just have a good time together. We like a lot of the same things when it comes to food, smoking styles, things that we do, and being unique and being innovative. And we're just having a conversation. He was just sharing with me some of his private things that he does with his cigars and how he puts them together.
Okay.
And some of the tobaccos that he works with. And I'm like, how can I get my hands on some of this tobacco and stuff like that? Because, everything I do is exclusively with Tabacusa. So to knock any rumors, there's no collaborations going on. I heard all this
I
stuff.
had to allude to it without asking.
No, but you just straight up ask. No, but
You are famous for that, Sam. On your podcast, you are famous for that.
So no, I just like everything he does. I like a lot of stuff he does. I tell him to shut up sometimes on social media, but that's him. That's him.
Oh, Skip.
But no, I get when you're down there, you grind all day. It's always nice at the end of the. I'm still geeked out, and this is a guy that when he's in his factory, he's there for 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Working on stuff, doing stuff, and he's very transparent. So if he sees enthusiasm and he's going to share stuff with you. And you can't learn unless you share.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, a lot of those guys, they're the same way. Nicaragua is for the most part. Some people, when they go on compound, they never leave their compound. There's some people down there, brands that we all love and like these people, but they get on property or on compound where they're doing their stuff. I'm a brand owner. I'm not a cigar maker. So it's when you have a chance to learn outside, they're not going to give you everything. They give you just enough to make yourself a little bit better.
But it keeps you hungry too.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this industry. 9 to 5, F you.
You got me hungry right now.
We're chasing shelf space. At 501, especially, when you have the things with the FDA and all these other things, that unity that can come together.
Yeah.
And still just being friends. You'd be surprised how many people hang out together or are friends with each other down, in country.
It's so cool. Like, that's one of the things I love about cigars in general.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the whole culture from the brands, the shop owners, the customers. It doesn't, like, you light one of these, it doesn't matter. Like, somebody's going to say hi. Whether you say hi back or not, that's up to you. And if you don't, they're not going to get mad. They're going to go, oh, he's doing his thing. And and I love like you said, the unity of it and everybody kind of working together.
Well, podcasters are the same way. I mean, I think for the most part, like, I hope I'm not pissing you off. I've talked about a couple other podcasts, but it seems like you guys all have some kind of energy and synergy. And
we're clearly not in it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple that might be perceived to be in it for the money. They're not. I know some are fully monetized, and I don't have a problem with that.
No. It's like cigars in general, right? You don't get into it for the money.
Well, some things they do, or don't, I do, and I don't. So maybe I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, but I think it's beautiful. That's what this industry needs is one industry, right?
Yep.
We need to be one industry, and every component. So look at the industry. There's kids in the industry, right? There's the cigar makers. There's the manufacturers. There's those brand owners. There is podcasters. There's media that are strictly media, right? We all need to get along. We all need to work together.
Play nice.
And, if you have your own identity, and I love what's going on in the podcasting, the evolution of what I see is you see a lot of regional podcasters that are slowly getting national exposure. and then it weeds out like these guys that just I want a free cigar, I want that, because I'm not going to say the next statement because then my freaking inbox will blow up. But
get at it.
but
Let's make some
I like
enemies.
I wouldn't. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't. If I thought was anything bad about a podcaster or whatever, I wouldn't be on it.
Right.
And most of them, every podcast that I've been on, I've had some kind of interaction with. Something as limited as like talking on Facebook or social media, to finally meeting each other at some of these multi-vendor events, to actually being in the garage. No, I mean, there's only one true studio I've ever been in, and that's
You could say
Cigar Authority.
Yeah,
you got the sticker right up there.
Yeah.
And those guys are great, and well, actually, Abe's was in studio for the longest time, and then COVID went outside studio, and they don't know. But I love, if I have a chance to be
in person,
and especially if it's my first time on the show, I get tickled pink. Like this is great. This is
it's a lot.
I love it.
Yeah,
he wanted to be tickled pink. That was for you, Sam.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds like
9 comments. I'm not going to go with
another house brand for you, Tickled Pink.
Tickled Pink.
It's Fuente probably already owns it.
That's fair.
They own all things pink.
I was going to say that's a really good assumption on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. All I know is that Mickey has given me a new ambition in my life. I just want someday to refer to me as, oh no, he's on his compound. He's not taking any calls.
He's on his compound.
I'll
have a compound.
No, like, well, obviously Drew Estates. I mean, look at that. That's a fucking compound.
Yeah.
My father's is a compound.
It's just such a fucking cool thing to hear somebody
AJ's
say.
a compound.
Like, oh no, they're in their compound.
No, it's a really cool way of putting it. It's no.
I wasn't trying to sound, but not every factory's on a compound. Like Tabacusa, the factory I work with, is on a street corner, but it's right across from Tip
We've
Top.
all been there.
Pollo. I get all the fried chicken I want, brother. And then La Zona is on, so they're all, but some of these, people that do some really great things out there, they go on, but so I guess when I said on compound with Skip is I meant his factory, Nicasueno, he doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're backpedaling. That was one of the coolest things anybody said in this garage.
Well, because somebody's going to dissect this shit.
I like where Scotty Robinson goes, all right, Jim Jones.
Yeah, somebody's going to dissect this shit. And we're like, well, this is not in the compound. That's in the compound. Like, no.
You're way too, I'm telling you, there's 10 people are going to hear this. You're okay.
Yeah, so.
You're good.
10. What the fuck am I doing here? Let's go sell some shit.
That's right.
No.
Actually, the garage door has already been locked. The ulterior motives.
Hey, we got plenty of booze. We got ice and good company and plenty of cigars.
Giant sausage.
We got to smoke our way out.
I like
And we got these freaking pizza rolls over here.
We got pizza rolls.
No, so I mean, if you get a chance to do that and you get a chance to freaking geek out with somebody like that, it's amazing. And he's a fucking funny dude, man.
Yeah.
He's quick witted and. I just love spending time with him.
Oh yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
It's funny. He's younger than me, and I got in the business before he did, and he mastered so many different things between being a consumer to being a retailer to owning a brand to being a manufacturer. And now I had the pleasure of visiting. He had just opened up his pre-industry, which is on the edge of town just when you come in. It's right across from Terraza Colombia, the restaurant. And what he's doing with that now, because that's where all the magic really happens. Everybody thinks the magic happens in the factory when you're rolling the cigars. Yes, you can actually do that. But what you do with the tobacco, it's the last stage before it actually makes its way. It's always being fermented. It's always being aged. A lot of times we'll just say fermentation just to make it easy. Just shut up because there's so many. You're constantly working with tobacco.
Yeah.
The whole time before it gets rolled, right? You're constantly working with it.
300 minutes for a reason.
Yeah, and that's where they make the decisions if it's going to be a binder or a wrapper or whatever because of aesthetics or whatever, and they're working it. What they're doing, putting moisture in, taking moisture out, put in the middle of the pylon, like all these different things. That's where it is. And what they have to do with this stuff is amazing. And if they do it right, they can do it in a sense where they can, extend their margin a little bit too, especially if you're linear.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Because I didn't track that linear part.
So, well, the more linear, like take Perdomo, take Fuente,
like vertically integrated.
Yeah, vertically.
Okay.
Yeah, so linear. Yeah, okay, vertically.
Okay.
You got to dumb it down for the junkies.
They touch like everything Perdomo does, and I'm not speaking like I don't work. They do. They have their own box factory. They do.
Yeah.
AJ's the same way.
They've got it.
So they might buy tobacco from. Like, I don't think Perdomo does, or will admit that he does, or does. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But like
nobody knows but Nick.
But and AJ's the same way. He's got his own farms, and like what AJ's trying to do with this Puro wrapper. When I say Puro, so a lot of people call a Puro a cigar made in the country, but a true that because that term came from Cuba, right? Because everything's made in Cuba,
Right.
But there's a lot of people that interact and they'll call it Puro. That just means it comes from the country. We don't know. Like, they might call something a Puro where the wrapper is coming from a different country.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But we say that, but even people in Nicaragua or Dominican Republic will say that. What they're saying is it's a handmade cigar. Right. You got to understand the inflection of what they're talking about. It's a handmade cigar in that country.
Right.
So a true Puro, what people are gravitating to, and like Carlito was the first one to do in Dominican Republic. He made a wrap. They said they could never do a wrapper in Dominican Republic. Well, Carlito said, "Fuck you," and did it. Right?
They did it. Yeah.
And AJ has done it and is in doing that, and other people are trying to mimic that too. So, so that was.
No, that's
so. When people say that, a Puro, especially who you hear from, they might just be saying, "Hey, it's made in that country,"
right?
But the meaning, as we understand it, means that the wrapper, every component,
all
the components are from that country,
right?
Country.
But you got to know what the intent of the meaning is.
Yeah,
so there's people that call it a Puro. All they're saying is made in that country.
Well, that's one thing that's
It's a
frustrating.
Nicaraguan Puro. Doesn't mean that everything is made from there.
Oh, okay, I see.
But if you get technical and you're at the table, and for an American, or even some Europeans, because they think naturally a Puro because of Cuba, because everything's made in Cuba.
Yeah, so
all components. Yeah.
No, it always it frustrates me, trying to learn more. That just in general, this industry is really good about not having standard phrasing for anything.
Yeah, but if you look at any vernacular in any language, it's the same.
But it's just like what is a Robusto? What size? What's a this? What's that?
Well, they'll say the true one. Like Churchill's look how heavy is it? A 7x48 or
right?
7x50? Like where?
Yeah, a lot of your size charts, the old size charts they used to hang up in the cigar lounges, are. To new smokers, it confuses them a little bit because they think, oh, wait a minute.
Well, there's a lot of old media that's going around before people could do verifications. Not that people were misleading anybody, but they were just Churchill is actually not a 7x48. It's a 6 7/8 by 48.
Right.
And that's because that's what Churchill smoked. But it's in that, we know what that vicinity is, because when I got into retail, late 80s, early 90s, working part-time, a 7x50 was a Churchill. A 6 7/8 by, and then, oh my God, a 52 ring gauge. Oh my God, that was like blasphemy. And now we got 60s, and then you got Tom with these freaking April Fool's shit.
What was that, a 90, right?
Well, last time we were in town, we had a smokestack, and they were having like smoke offs with that. And,
right. What's the Woody by Oscar? It's a 22-inch by 100 ring gauge cigar. I mean,
is it 100? Is it really 100
ring gauge? Yeah.
If there's cigar porn. I know that. There's a brother that owns that, but it's like cigar porn. That's cigar porn.
I'll tell you what. That cigar. If you
don't look at my phone,
hold one.
Well, I'm not looking at I can't see your. I gotta go with my glasses on my head like a toolbox.
That cigar is super light. It's weird.
Well, the bigger the ring gauge, it's gonna get lighter.
Yeah. So. But it's like you grab a 990. And that feels dense.
Oh, you mean by weight?
To physically
I thought you were going by flavor.
Really?
To physically hold it, the cigar doesn't weigh that much. But I mean, you have to, because you're drawing through this much. You can't.
Well, everybody's seen that picture of that old Cuban lady with the big cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's. There's photos of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perdomo, I think, was one of the first ones to even kind of joke around with that stuff or do it or whatever.
Yeah, just in general, like, what size is it? I don't fucking know. Like, I'd love to say it's this, but it depends who you're talking to. You might say it's a Toro. You might say this is a Toro. That's a Toro. And all of a sudden,
yeah, but like if you look at my Toro, it's a little bit bigger than a natural Toro.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day about, a couple years ago when the 60s were on the shelf, people said, holy shit, that's a big cigar.
Mm-hmm. I wish we could go back to that.
And then, and now.
It's check. Here we go.
Yeah, we're back on.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Dove
first.
come on?
yeah, he just popped
Hey,
up.
just in time. What's up, Mikey?
Just in time to watch the technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
So there might be an
Well,
argument.
I'm glad Mickey did that because I was about to do the same damn thing. So, yeah. I don't even know how I'm going to get out of here if I got to take a leak. I'm not sure
really,
how this is going to
that
happen.
seat is you need a bottle, slide it on the table, and call it a day.
Throw me a fucking
You
bottle.
drive a lot, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he also moved the camera angle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
shit.
correct that once he's back in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You just made a really good argument for why
We
it
actually
might be
got
better.
about 7 new people on just because you got up.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Crazy. You stood up.
You walked
Yeah.
away.
The shine's gone. We're good.
And he actually made a really good argument for why virtual guests might be good. So
What you were just complaining about just became a good thing?
yeah. Grass is greener
Right.
now,
Yeah.
You're good right there, I think. There we go.
Fat guy in little studio. Don't go by the man down by the river.
Well,
Mike Dove just said, "What's up?" when he walked away.
Yeah.
we can't
Like he's
all
waiting
have
for you.
compounds with giant garages.
So
Yeah.
so Mike
Yeah,
Dove
it's
is
good.
a fucking mind reader.
Yeah, literally.
It's time.
Hey, Mike, Mickey gets up to take a piss, and you come right on. That's kind of weird, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
like
That
you've been
shit
looking for
happens.
something.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't my sausage on the table.
Yeah, so it's fun, man. Like that's the joy of live broadcasting is that you get new challenges. You learn to grow, and you go, okay, maybe we should move where that outlet.
Live from the
everything
I
plugs
Gotta
in.
Take a Piss studio.
Well, I guess I'm not allowed back in Pittsburgh.
Well, you know what's really cool though? At least we still have the live, so you have a place to grab the whole thing from. You
Oh
don't even
yeah,
have
for
to
sure.
go to work.
I've done this before. Oh yeah, I've messed up. I've hit the record button late. I've accidentally stopped recording halfway through.
You know, it's a funny story. My nickname in the military was Hot Mike, not because I look good, because I had my radio on
I knew exactly
all
where you were going.
day long, and I was bitching about everybody. I was motherfucking everybody in my command, you name it. And I got back, and they made a plaque. Somebody made a plaque in Afghanistan. I don't know how they did it, and they dubbed me Hot Mike.
So I just like to imagine Colby's out there listening, and the one thing is, don't move.
Is
Mick.
that on the chair for a purpose?
No.
Don't move, Mickey. We got
I'm
people.
trying to get away from this freaking.
You're okay. Just relax.
You want to swap? Because I'm going to take a piss.
This looks like
You're going this way, bud.
Yeah, I know. I am.
this looks like the
Yeah.
Christmas tree from that
Don't
Christmas
worry about
from Christmas Story.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
It's a very important trophy. It's a very important one.
It's
right?
beautiful, Clark.
Fragile.
Fragile.
It's an honor.
This
I think
garage
that's
is fragile.
All the people watching at home were just going.
Did you guys see the new
It
one?
was like an evening at the Apollo up in this motherfucker. Now all of a sudden it's quiet as a church.
I didn't know if I was ever going to have a relevant reason to play that.
Oh, that's
but
perfect.
Mickey gave me one.
So, do you know? Do you have a scroll of which ones you need to? I mean, how?
Show 'em.
So I've always been curious about that. Oh, that's badass.
It's just programmable. You put
yeah.
whatever you want. on
Okay,
there.
cool.
And so I actually have This is all the
Oh, do
new
whatever
stuff
you
that I
want.
just
It's
added.
staying here. So
But
That's
no,
cool.
Yeah,
That is badass.
You can set it up. To
I've
do
always
whatever
been
you want.
curious because you hear on every podcast they have those little interjections and stuff, and I thought, man, how do they control that? What do they do?
This
well,
board
usually
has.
there's a couple
Yeah.
people involved. That
Yeah,
I'm.
you're all one man show.
Well, on the podcast with like the right,
We're
with-
low budget.
with the right blah blah blah. It's like the old when you watch the old stand up or late
Beep,
night
beep,
shows,
beep, beep.
and they do the
Yeah,
drum
yeah.
roll,
Yeah.
up dump.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where somebody would actually go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got one of those.
yeah, but like people they know where their buttons are. And,
Yeah.
I know where some of them are, not all the time.
I know a lot of the podcasts do that, like do that stuff in post. So
Yeah.
they do it after the fact and they add it in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this fits here.
I
This
mean,
fits there.
Which because most people listen.
let's see.
Yeah,
You and
I do. I listen.
Yeah.
you and I were on a podcast early in the summer where they actually still had the little bleep bleep horns. Remember the one? Well, the brothers. They had like little horns and ring bells and stuff.
gooses?
Yeah, gooses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were using the bell still and the little honking horn.
That's
the whole
cool.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a horn.
Yeah.
No, I
now
don't
you're
have
giving them
one of those.
ideas. Stop it.
Yeah, you always do that.
He's so horny.
Do you just want to like dedicate like a minute or two to like you just going down
Just
the
playing
line,
one of the
Yeah, we gotta
buttons.
go to some new
yeah.
ones.
new buttons make you feel better?
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
I like my buttons.
I see
I
that.
really do.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the reasons that I hate doing the Zooms is because I was
Yeah.
talking about that feedback. I can't use this because
Oh no shit.
well, it happened at the beginning of the show because I
Yeah.
was still set up for the other one. So I
Right.
pushed the button and like 5 seconds later it
Yeah.
plays,
Yeah, I
and the
saw that.
beginning gets cut
Right.
off. So it screws things up, and I don't have the ability
That's cool,
to do
though.
what I do normally,
Yeah.
which is push buttons at the wrong time or the wrong button.
Sounds
or-
like me when I'm at a family function,
Right.
especially my in-laws.
Just pushing all the wrong buttons.
Yeah,
Pushing all the
not
wrong
even
buttons.
trying. It's
Yeah.
one thing when I try,
Yeah.
but it's I don't know. I'm like my wife's yelling at me. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, I
It's
learned,
like,
a long,
yeah,
Push the wrong button.
You spoke.
I learned a long time ago. I don't have to try for that at all. Like if I try to push the buttons, then they think it's fun.
Yeah.
If I don't try, then I get my
So
desired
just
effect.
the rule of the story is then try. I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Just
What's the
try.
name of that restaurant with all the goofy shit on the walls?
You mean shenanigans?
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
So are you just rolling into things so you can push the
you
button? Is
need-
that what's going on?
What you need is I love that when everybody says that to me. You know what you should do?
Oh, you know what you should
I
do?
would
Yeah.
do.
I'll take all the advice you have.
Opening
Yeah.
the shop? Yes.
Some Smokey and the Bandit quotes.
Oh
No.
yeah.
Nobody does Smokey and the Bandit quotes on podcasts.
Dude.
Boy, when I get home, no, you can't do that one. You can't do that one.
Slap yo mama.
You can't. But
Why
there's
not?
other because well, in Pittsburgh, I guess you guys do whatever you want. Bunch of fucking coal miners, steel mill guys. But
I work at a steel mill.
so do so
That's where they go.
hey, let's
no,
talk
lots
Pittsburgh.
of my friends are steel mill employees.
Seth Jones says it's
So-
the only button you can find. He has that on good authority.
Oh yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
So Mike's the Robin Givens of a podcast. I love that with the
Oh, she's
updates.
hot.
No shit. For you.
Absolutely.
So
I don't understand
for
that.
my,
you.
no,
Yeah,
don't
my,
try
my,
to
my,
explain.
my,
Keep
my
going.
dad actually grew up in Beaver Falls.
Okay.
So my uncles all played for Beaver Falls,
All right.
the Tigers, and then all my cousins were Blackhawk guys. So actually, the town was actually called West Mayfield. But if you wrote a letter, you had to say
Oh boy.
right Beaver
What are we
Falls.
doing, Mike?
Right.
And my
careful.
grandfather, Herb Pegg, worked for B&W, Babcock's and Wilcox.
I don't
I'm only
understand that
that one
reference
go.
either.
Yeah, it was a mill that's in the Beaver Falls area. It was like typical mill town, Nirvana, where
Yeah.
and he was like a guy had an 8th grade education.
Yep.
Smart as a whip. Made supervisor. Started working at a very young age.
I was about to say you're far thinner than I expected. you to
Handle
be,
goes
but I was
up.
Wrong.
Michael.
Yeah.
The handle goes up.
Damn it. It's so much more fun to watch them struggle.
That's,
at it.
I told them that actually.
No. Well, the dogs are gonna get him.
I went to go into my
She out.
I went to go
Yeah,
to my office
shit.
the other day and I grabbed the handle. I'm like, what the fuck? Son of a bitch, Corey.
You have an office?
Yeah.
I
It's
thought
in
you
his basement.
Yeah, it's a little 8x8 office.
It does good. It does good. It does what it needs to do there.
See, I would have had the popcorn machine working, and so I could smell the aroma as I'm walking up. I did
sorry
like
to
the
disappoint
grandeur of the garage door opening, and you're standing there all boss man as I walked up the hill.
A guy of a little stature appreciates hearing something like that, actually.
Well, you looked really tall at the top of the hill of your fucking driveway.
This is the one time today he's going to look down on you.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Hey, as long as we brought attention to the buttons, I have one more that I don't think I'm going to get a transition for, so I just kind of want to hit it.
Give me a liter of cola. Order a large farva. I don't want a large farva. I want a goddamn liter of cola.
What's that from?
Super Troopers.
Super True. Oh, yeah, okay.
So funny.
Oh,
Dude,
it's a good movie.
Awesome.
Again, that was one of those ones where it was like, I don't know what segue I'm going to have to push this button, but I got to have
You know when you use that next time is when you have an in-studio guest or on air and they're looking to go, and they're going to pour a drink or need something else to drink. There you go.
You know what? I actually missed a perfect opportunity earlier because you guys were talking about soda and root beer.
Oh, yeah.
And I could have hit it then, and I just didn't first of all, I didn't even realize it was on this page because it's on a different page than I thought it was. But yeah, I missed my opportunity. I do that all the time.
So I'm going to talk about the cigar for a second because it's a cigar podcast.
Why wouldn't you?
Not really, but go ahead.
So I don't know why, but I was super fast smoker today. And, dude, this thing's a rock star. Like,
thank you.
I'm not even trying to move. Can I get away with it? Yeah, I can get away with it. Like, as fast as I hammered this thing, like, burn's still spot on.
That's what she said.
No eyeliner whatsoever. Yeah, dude, fantastic, beautiful. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys do commercials on this show?
When we do,
Not that I'm going to buy one.
Well, then I don't know. Why am I going to play for you?
We'll talk about that after.
Oh no, I'm broke.
You're in good company. Yeah. No, we have a few. Here, you want to hear the one I made for him?
No, because I want to ask you a question.
Okay, go.
Cigar Authority. What do you guys think of Cigar Authority?
So we like I said, we normally dance around. Yeah. However, this is a special episode.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You can't dance around. That's just
they are
normally we do. Actually, if you listen to our intro, it says
no.
If you are looking for the authority on all things cigars, you came to the wrong place.
You came to the wrong place.
That's a reference to them. The Cigar Authority.
Backhanded or
no,
front loaded?
Kind of both. So no, I really respect them actually.
It's a great source of information.
90% of what I know about cigars is because of the Cigar Authority.
Yeah.
I listen to them all the time. When I said earlier I get a care package every month, it's from the Cigar Authority.
Right.
It's the Cigar Authority.
Oh, then I got something for you guys then.
Okay. I'm curious now.
Actually, as long as we're on the subject, speaking of good segues, I have Sam's Christmas present here, and it'll prove how much I do not have anything against him. Though 90% of what I know from listening to the Cigar Authority. I actually bought him Dave Garofalo's book for Christmas because he's opening a brick and mortar store, and nobody's ever done it better than David.
I've heard a lot about that book.
$30 for a paperback. Come on, man. That shit's ridiculous.
I'll pass it on to you when I'm done, Mike.
So
yeah, actually, please.
Yeah.
No, like the whole thing. The reason I did the Cigar Junkies.
Was that your daughter?
Yes, it was. So
how old is she?
She's 16.
All right. So I have a 16 sophomore, and I have a freshman in sophomore in high school, freshman, sophomore in college, and my sophomore in college will be able to be at the show because I'm waiting until 21 just because you know the whole 18 and all that.
For sure.
I love that, and she's very supportive of all this.
Hell yeah,
that's cool.
Because she had a little bit of a smile. So that I thought that was really cool, and I thought about my daughter.
She's a really good kid. Like if you hear from him, that's one thing.
You can hold it up to the camera if you want to.
So,
oh shit,
dude, challenge coins.
Is that this year's or is this?
This is the 2023. I don't know all the fucking rules about this, but I haven't really given them out. But I saw the Cigar Authority, and you know how much I love those guys. They've been such an inspiration for me.
I can't hear them.
And
get in your mic a little more.
So I just you got to be kind of finicky about giving these out.
There you go. Hold on. There you go.
Now Corey's breaking shit.
Like I can't give these out in a retail situation and all that stuff, but
dude,
that's for you guys.
Oh, dude. Wow. Thank you.
So I Sam, or you want me to hand them to you?
Dude, that is
Sam knows how to reach around.
And anybody in Pittsburgh, I don't have any more, so leave me alone. And don't ask for me in a retail.
I like that you clarified that.
And don't ask for those in a retail situation because I want to be respectful to the retailers. But we have hugely big love affair with those guys, and not that anybody's more special than anybody else, but Dave and I have a long history together.
I have one already.
You
so you can hold on to one of them.
You do.
You can hold one.
Well, give me back the one you already have.
Here you go.
Wow.
So that way I can say I technically gave you one.
So the way this works is,
Yes, please tell me.
if I put mine down and I'm at your event, you have to give me a cigar or buy me a drink. And if you pull yours out of your pocket and you have yours too, then it's the other way around. I have to buy an All Saints cigar.
That's similar to the old military rules.
So
No, it's
I
all
don't know how this works.
It's all based on.
It's all based on.
I don't know how this works because
Parents has one. Like they all,
you pulled yours out first,
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Pull out.
but we both had one.
That means
And
you can't be mad at me for upsetting your Christmas tree.
You've already gave me cigars and drinks, so I don't think.
I'm ahead of the curve.
I
I don't have to
remember.
pull that coin out in Pittsburgh for like 3 years.
Well, Sam knows how this goes. I remember getting coin checked.
With ours it was different. It was
Yeah.
who had the bigger coin. So it's all
I've never won that contest.
Right.
It's been a lot of fucking money. For
So the original military story is if you drop a coin, you have 30 seconds. It depends on your squadron rule. You have 30 seconds to pull your coin out and drop it on the bar or the table. And a person or people that do not have a coin on them have to buy a round of drinks for everybody in the bar. Now, if everybody at the bar had a coin, doesn't matter where it's from, a challenge coin, then the person that challenged has to buy a round of drinks. But I remember an asshole in Germany at a bar on the base where I did a challenge amongst just the people that I was with. And this motherfucker was selling coins in a bag. He decided to hand coins out to everybody in the bar, so I would have to buy 100 fucking people drinks.
That's pretty funny right there.
Oh, I still mad at that.
That's pretty funny.
Dude, that was 13 years ago, and I still remember like it was yesterday. If I ever see that guy again, I hope you're on this podcast, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I doubt it.
Paid off the credit card bill.
Is he one of the 5 viewers tonight?
Probably not.
No, I respect that.
Hey, it's Seth Jones.
No, but-
hey, Seth. I'm joking. It's not Seth.
Well, of course, a lot of the guys in the cigar industry are doing this stuff and all this stuff, and we're like the last ones to do it, and we're coming up with our other coin strictly from us. But it's all based on the military.
Yeah.
And then I think the first responders. I don't know who came. I think the military did it first.
So you ruined something for me with this though.
What's that?
Because my first cigar challenge coin was gonna be my shop's challenge coin,
Oh, poor Sam.
and you ruined it. You broke my chair.
I got two other
That's
ones.
the first one you give. That's not the first one you receive.
This is the first one I've ever had.
This shows how
This is the first one I've
you're
ever
right.
had.
Mickey, make sure you treat it like a good shaft
Look how old that
and
is.
stick into it. So you actually derailed me with the coin thing because all I wanted to get out was that when we started this show, everything I know about cigars, 95% of it is because of the Cigar Authority.
Yeah.
And so that's
and they're
why
spot on.
Yeah.
we went with the format that we did is because I didn't want anybody to come. I didn't want anyone to think, oh, this is a place for me to go and learn everything about cigars. I'm never going to be able to do that as well as their show, right? Because they've been doing it for years. They've got 30 years of experience.
That's my original coin.
I'm never going to be able to duplicate that. So our idea was Cigar Lounge Talk on the go. So you notice we don't ask you questions like about your tobacco or your factory or your cigars. Like, tell us what we're smoking. Like, give us your background. But other than that, it's like, I want to know.
Even for the most eager person to learn and study tobacco, whatever, they're going to glaze over, and they're going to go. Oh my. That was the weirdest fucking direction
was
I've
off
ever.
camera.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be memorable.
Let's call you Deep Throat Director.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, I get yelled at about the microphone, so I get like whatever.
You were far from the worst guest that we've had.
you like
We've got a guy sitting back here the whole time.
yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
You're fucking killing me, bro. This is an audio show.
Yeah.
He's hanging back.
A little bit of video.
So yeah, I mean, again, but like, some of the stuff it's like when I talk about stuff, I want to talk about my cigars in a way that's translatable and repeatable and understandable from everybody from a first time smoker, like, because there's a lot of stuff when you first start smoking that you can discover. Like, I remember when I discovered Cameroon for the first time,
Right?
the old school Cameroon,
The old school, yeah.
for the Marifel Cameroon, and I was in retail and I'm like, wow, I really like this. And Cameroon can sometimes be polarizing for people. Either they like it or they don't like it. Like San Andreas was, and I think that's changing a little bit. And I'm like, man, I really want to fucking learn tobaccos. You know, so whatever. But also, you think you could be having the easiest conversation and the most understandable, high level conversation, but when you kick in, you forget.
Yeah.
And like the person listening is like,
it's a different language.
What the fuck?
It's probably harder on a podcast because you can't see the person in front of you. Like,
but that's responding. Even worse.
Right.
You can't see the body language because when you're in a shop, you can see the body. You can catch on, right?
Yeah, they'll get up like, you know what? I might as well get up and go take a fucking piss now because this is over.
The guy's like just shaking his head out of respect. Like
I tell people all the time, dude, bro, you're going like DEFCON 4 on me. Like you're speaking Latin to me, even though like we like to joke around with Latin in our company. Like we don't know Latin. we have people that will translate and make sure we're not, it's a whole other thing. But it's like
I can't even pronounce it.
People go to another level and you're like, what the fuck is this guy? Like bored. And you might be on the cusp of saying something that's really compelling to that person that wants to hear it.
Yeah.
You could be on the cusp of that, but like they're so dead.
They're inundated by all the info.
Well, it's like you listen to like say go to mass or whatever, whether or not the homily. Like I go to mass because I just want to like disconnect. I have my own reasons for going to mass. I'm not just super freaking Catholic, even though I get accused of that. I want to hear the fucking homily. I want to hear what that priest has to say, how compelling he is, and what kind of packages he put it in. How many times have you listened to somebody talk and you're hanging on every word and you're like, I need to take notes. And you're like,
public speaking.
Now this motherfucker's just talking way too much. Like most of my family looks at me when I'm home.
Yeah. I heard one of the best jokes I've heard in a long time today. You kind of segued me nicely to it. So what do you call a Catholic sex toy cleaner?
A priest, I don't know.
Baptism.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to hell just for listening to that. I'm not even religious, and I'm going to hell for listening to that. I was going to plug a coffee shop we're going tomorrow morning at a cathedral downtown, but I'm not going to do it now just because of that reason.
You don't want to follow that?
No, I'm afraid that they will probably ban us from walking in.
So, one thing we do big time, like I've got the shop going or getting ready to go and all
just
that.
Just a tip.
But we do.
That's what the priest said to the altar boy.
You got to see a setup, though, bro.
We are all about.
Are we going to stop by and see him?
We're going to try very hard.
I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Try very hard.
What time tomorrow morning?
Just a tip. We're going to try very hard. I mean, this is going to
shut him up for a second. It's hard to do. What time tomorrow morning?
I understood that reference.
I don't know. It depends on what Home Depot says when I call them after I leave here.
Because this is actually a good area for us because we have our first appointment around 11:30, 12-ish.
So the reason I brought it up is where's your appointments at? Let everybody know where they can see you at. So Old Allegheny.
They're trying to set you up for the plugs.
I'm saying give the plugs.
All right.
Where are your events at?
So tomorrow,
we were at Old Allegheny today.
We were at Old Allegheny today. Old Allegheny has been a very large supporter for me personally as a broker.
Steve and Sarah are great.
Yes. They have pretty much a Mike King wall, which I'm really excited about.
That's cool.
So
let's stroke our own cock while we're at it.
Yeah, I love it.
Good idea is a good idea.
It's big enough, Mickey. I can do that. So, but I've loved them for a long time, and we went to go see Jim Robinson's playing.
Your head went the same way mine did. He loved them a long time.
Yeah. So Jim Robinson's place downtown.
I know what his proof is.
So Sean's a great guy, and what I like about the Strip is they support everybody.
Yeah.
And Jim, he's always somewhere in the nation. Where's Jim? Where's Waldo?
Right.
But Jim.
I heard his Jeep's parked in Pittsburgh. We heard.
Yeah. So he's actually home right now.
Really?
Theoretically. Yeah. So, but I will tell you a little story about Jim. Is if you are a new cigar company or established, it doesn't matter. Jim's going to give you a shot.
He'll bring you in.
He'll bring you in. And you say, hey, Jim, I got a special. He goes, don't even worry about that. Listen, Mike, just bring it in.
That's cool.
And so I have a massive respect because he's the first person ever in Pittsburgh to ever bring me in on my first run on anything. So what's good about it is they are cheerleaders for everybody in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So if you say, they ask you sometimes, like on the East Coast, like I'm talking, you're kind of east here, but on the East Coast, if somebody says, where are you going next? I say, we got a couple spots to go to.
Right.
Somebody in Pittsburgh
Depends
asked
on the
me.
territory.
Yeah. Somebody in Pittsburgh asks me where I'm going next. I tell them.
Yeah. Oh, hey, say hi to Dave while you're there.
Exactly. Let me make a call for you. You haven't been there yet? Let me make a call. So, especially, I mean, if you're a decent person, every retailer in all of Pittsburgh, I tell people all the time.
So how did I open all these shops?
Yeah. So every retailer in Pittsburgh will always recommend you to go to somebody else, and I make the call for you. I tell people all the time, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is the best cigar city in the entire fucking nation.
Dude,
thank you.
I love it, man. I mean, Seth, when he came
listen,
in,
I've been
I
doing
took him to
this-
Old Allegheny.
October this year was my 5 years doing on the road in this business. And I've been through a lot of transitions. But I tell you, Pittsburgh, and I'm telling you, all of Pittsburgh, whoever's fucking listening in Pittsburgh, needs to do a Pittsburgh Cigar Fest.
Yeah.
Run by retailers.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, as friendly as this city is, it's
Sam, you and I got some thoughts.
Oh
on
yeah.
that
but also I think, some of that what might detract from that is that when there's pop-ups, drop-ins, and there are actual events, right?
Right.
And they all kind of blur sometimes.
Right.
When Pittsburgh does events, whatever the store is, they actually do events.
Right.
There could be a pop-up. This is an event town that does pop-ups, where a lot of other towns have pop-ups that kind of do events.
Yeah.
From a retailer standpoint, and I'm talking about even like a friendly retailer situation. So if you talk about where I live, those retailers are all pretty friendly for the most part.
Yeah, especially right exactly where you are.
And for me, which is very humbling because that's kind of the base of our retail sales, or where it kind of germinated from. Behind the scenes, I don't even know. People are borrowing product from the other store to get to that consumer because that consumer needs it for a certain event until they get their next shipment in. Cigar Mojo, Wooden Indian, pairings.
They all work around each other.
So Goose,
Goose,
they will do it. Even in some cases where the retailer that is borrowing it from the other retailer, like, how fast do you fucking need it? And you got this going on. The other retailer will bring product to that retailer to borrow.
Yeah.
It's the way it should work, though.
And Pittsburgh's a lot like
I'm going to scratch your back today. You're going to scratch mine tomorrow.
Well, it's remember the old Santa Claus
I don't think
movie?
it's about scratching the back. It's a brotherhood.
Yeah, remember the old Santa Claus movie?
We're the city of brotherly love there, even though we fucking...
Oh, yeah. Even though we have the highest murder capital.
We don't talk about Philly, man.
Yeah, but remember the old Santa Claus movie where the Santa Claus is telling people to go down the street for stuff they couldn't find at Macy's? Or to get a better deal at Macy's. I don't know if you know the old movie.
No.
Well, anyway, you got to watch. It's one of the oldest Christmas movies on the record. But
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Wife was watching that last night. Well, she's
so anyway.
Why she was pounding me.
So he was, he was working as the Macy's Santa Claus, and in the story, he was actually Santa Claus sending people down the road. Well, the thing is, the manager got livid. He was pretty upset by sending people down the road, but they got 10 times more business because of that.
Yeah.
And, I used to work for a retailer, but that was also a wholesaler. And I said, listen, at your retail shop, you should advertise every cigar event going on at any retail shop in your area. And he said, why is that? Because they're going to come to you for thanks, and help, and you guys are going to be working together.
No, I mean, look at the show. When you look at the banner we had, I've
never seen the show.
We know.
So for the most
I
part,
love your logo.
Nobody
though.
has. You're not one of the 10.
No.
For the most part, when we do this, it's just the tip in one corner, leaning house in the other, junkies in the middle.
So what's Leaning House? Why am I so stupid?
We went to Dave's house. Remember? I made it the last stop on purpose because we were going to hang out there. It was Dave Fuskovic, all tattooed up, really cool dude, motorcycle guy, down in the South area.
That's half a
We
fucking
hung out there
cigar
like
community.
all fucking night. There was a couple guys. He had a very
I'm like the only prep you left.
Was there music, Mike?
Yeah, of course. He had the whatever that channel is that's got the old 80s and 70s music.
Oh no! Was there a live band on the deck?
No. But I've been to a lot of those.
Yeah.
So can I plug? Can I do a plug?
He's a sponsor of the show.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I can. So Dave,
here, look.
It's time for the Cigar of the Week, brought to you by Leaning House Fine Cigar.
oh yeah.
That's me talking about.
All right,
You know how to get sponsors?
so
you plug ahead of.
He's got his cigar in a
So
Leaning
first of
House
all,
ashtray.
I met Sam through Dave.
Yeah.
Sam was working there part-time.
Yeah.
And then we have a connection because we were both Air Force.
Yep.
And so...
Another fucking Air Force.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I will say that...
my two best brokers are Air Force, and my partner, Air Force.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I meet another fucking Air Force guy, I'm going to punch him right in the throat.
Little plug for Sam. Sam was a fucking badass.
No.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Nope.
So Sam's job was to build a whole fucking city in the day.
Yeah, I was with the Red Horse Group. That's my.
So how come it took him a year to build
remember
a cigar
the old
shop?
Davy Seabees movie with John Wayne?
Yeah.
So the Air Force version of the Seabees is the Red Horse, and he was a Red Horse.
What version? The Air Force?
The Air Force version of the Seabees.
Are you Air Force too?
I was.
Yeah, he's Air Force.
This fucking world is coming to an end.
Hey,
I gotta hit that.
Sam, wasn't your wife Air Force too?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
She's a military brat.
Oh yeah. But
Oh my god.
Navy.
Yeah. Mickey, I love you.
Oh my god. I fucking hate the Air Force.
You come here anytime.
No.
But let me tell you something.
No, I love the Air Force.
Mickey fucking loves Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He fucking loves Pittsburgh. He came up here 2 months with me? Not even 2 months ago, right?
Well, I've been coming here since for 40-something years.
But for business wise, for All Saints.
First is my own company.
Yeah. As his own company, he came up here a couple of months ago and fucking fell in love with the place.
Yeah.
So, and I told him he would. I mean, we've been welcomed by open arms by everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody has opened up accounts. And it's not just opening accounts, it's just opening up their arms. And, it's just, it's great. Relationship between, actually, this is my first time in person meeting you.
Yeah. Well, no.
We met at Leaning House.
Yeah, we met.
That's right. We met at Leaning House at the deck on the party.
Yeah. At least once.
That was Dave's birthday, wasn't it?
One of the yeah.
Was his birthday party?
Yeah, because I've been there a few times. I bumped into you a few times, but usually what happens is you're hanging in the lounge, right?
Right. Yeah.
And usually I'm going there for the show.
Yes.
Outside. So I pass you, say hello, and then
normally I'll sponsor when I'm there. I'll sponsor his whatever thing he's got going on. It's an unofficial sponsor, so it's kind of like as a broker or as a rep, it's hard because you have like the party going on in the back, and then you have. Yeah, and then you have the lounge.
Like a mullet.
Yeah.
All business in the front, party in the back.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it.
I'm just making sure my microphone smells like All Saints.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, it sure does.
You know what I like, Mickey, is that fucking a lot of people come in this show and they come in a little uptight, and then they loosen up when they realize what it is. And there's nothing.
Why did I come in uptight?
No, not necessarily.
you didn't.
But you know what I did have to do is as
But
the
don't
shows-
confuse uptight in the beginning because they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
for sure. But they don't realize what this is. Like Mike, on the other hand, I've had to constantly turn down his microphone as the show has gone because he started off real quiet and now he's getting more and more enthusiastic.
That's because of this.
Yeah, I figured it might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
So what am I moving to
Rye
next?
is my for anybody that can get close to my heart. Rye is the closest to my heart.
Well, I think the next one you spoke is the St. Francis in honor of the
There you
coins.
All
Get
right.
at it. Pitter patter, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get at her.
Yeah, no, for
Well,
sure.
actually, that's so. I think the first person I gave a coin to, because I still haven't figured out what the process of these coins are, and I might get in trouble.
Clearly.
Even though we signed off on it because it was a couple nickels to do it when we did that sponsorship.
Terrible commercial, by the way.
So Mike,
I skip it
so
every
Mike,
time.
So Mike comes by my the confessional. Have you heard the confessional?
The goddamn.
Well,
New
here's
England-
the thing about the confessional. The concept is.
It's a cool idea,
But the confessions are miserable.
well, not only that, but the New England accent on the. I'll skip over. I'll listen to the segment.
That's
But I
Tony. That's
skipped the
Tony V.
commercial.
That's Tony V's the priest.
The fucking terrible with the goddamn New
Fuck
England.
you! I like that. What I
Well, my
don't
son.
like is the confessions have been lame. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have a conversation about that.
Oh, you get some good confessions on this show.
Yeah.
We aren't scared, and that's one of the other things that I love about these guys is that fucking Sam starts trying to talk, and they get all over you. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking get him because. His favorite thing to do with that fucking sausage is I read everything because listening to him read off a paper is hard.
And
It's
the
terrible. Not in a good way.
Jump over.
So what he does though, don't lean back. You're good.
I'm trying not to.
Got them all scared now.
What he does is while I'm reading, he'll fucking play with that little sausage and pop it up behind the fucking table and try to distract me.
Oh, wait a minute.
So I will tell you this.
What's the delay
you guys,
on the video?
You guys, because obviously there's no time limit on this shit, but You guys need like an every 40-minute commercial, whether it's just the tip or even talking about the junkies.
We do.
So, like, fat guys go, well, why haven't you done it?
Because this isn't a normal show. This wasn't a planned show.
This is a pop-up.
So it's a 30-second delay for the sausage.
So
I timed it.
So the first time I was, so you'll love this.
Been there. What the pill kick in?
So the first time I'm on the Cigar Authority kind of media, whatever. So I'm up there doing the thing and going to see Dave for the first time, and we're whatever. And he goes, you want to be on the after show? And I go, yeah. So I'm sitting there in the audience watching and giving out cigars to everybody in the audience, like driving them crazy, because that's one cigar they're not going to buy when they get upstairs. And
they might buy a whole box because of that, though.
I'll tell you what, when you do the show and you do the selling thing, I mean, it's unbelievable what you sell, and it's not because you're selling because they pumped it up.
Yeah,
these fucking people know everything they know more about you than you do.
Yeah.
These consumers go and do the research. It's absolutely nuts. So I get on the after show and I just fucking wouldn't shut up. And I just had a time. It was like one of the first times I really told her story because it was like the COVID, because we were behind the curtains during COVID.
That wasn't a show where you were supposed to tell how much it cost.
No, that's different. Let's fucking talk about that. I want to come back to that motherfucker. I want to come back to that in a second. So let me tell you.
If you were going to bring that up.
So yeah. Oh fuck yeah! I want to talk about it.
Actually, there's a term for it in the industry now. It's called getting pegged.
Yeah. I saw that. So let's come back to
House cigar name.
So let's come back. So the after show is about a 30-minute take. And sometimes they actually do it before the show or after the show. This was after the show. And it was really just Dave, like, hey, we're going to give you the after show to come on, just kind of talk to you for a little bit, like it's like one of those back in the business type deals. And I think it's the longest recorded after show because the after show is supposed to go like 30 minutes.
Yep.
And they gave me the platform, and every time they were trying to shut me up, I wasn't even looking at them.
Just let them go.
Because it's all audio, even though you're all head up and like whatever, it's all audio. And I'm like, and every time anybody would try to look at me and talk to me, like to fucking simmer me down, I'm like,
I thought I talked a lot.
And then like Vince Hill and all these guys were like, they're like, I've never seen anybody turn the after show into a full fucking segment.
Hijack that,
dude. I love it.
I did. I'm like, I learned that when I was selling mutual funds. Yep. Like, you pay to have that audience. Like tens of thousands, not me, but your company.
Right.
You're looking for results.
I was going to say, remember where you are. Tens of people, literally tens.
No, tens of. It doesn't matter. All how do you build an army? One soldier at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You're gonna go through this shit.
I have not heard that one.
You never heard that?
No.
Oh, dude.
You've never been to India or Africa.
Yeah. Did we eat elephant? I don't remember.
I did not. I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it tastes like chicken. So
what was his name?
McGillicuddy.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, fair enough. But we don't talk about Bruno.
No, so this is one of those funny things. Like, you get the floor, and he got it, and he gave it to me, and I think if you look at the after shows, I think it's one of the longest. Like, everybody still busts my balls.
I'm totally bringing that up.
Dude, I did that. So when I did sales in the oil field, and I'd walk into these company men's office or corporate offices, and I just wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
You can't tell me no if I don't stop.
Yeah.
And like they finally started.
Yeah, but you can't do it. You got to watch the diarrhea of the mouth, though.
Right, yeah. Like,
because I could do that too.
You have to know what you're like.
You got to know your audience.
You have to be on point. You have
like
to
we were talking about jargon earlier.
Yeah.
You think you're really saying something compelling to like a neophyte or somebody at a high level, and then next thing you know, you're in jargon, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Mine was so easy because our product was like way better than everybody else's.
Right.
Like, it was that easy. Like I would just walk in and be like, "This is what you guys give us. This is what we're going to give you back." Like that was 80% of my sales pitch. Is like there was a couple of company men that I did that. I walked in, I was like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do."
Yeah, I'm gonna change it.
Give me a call if you guys want to talk.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. Like when I sold mutual funds, it was the same thing. Yeah.
But like,
what's your return?
For the most of the part, like you go in and when you get like 4 or 5 guys together, same thing you said. Just go.
Can you just open up the garage door so I can piss out the side of the fucking garage?
It's possible. There's a spot for that.
No,
but
you have females in the house. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but they're not outside.
That dude, I just watered his grass.
Yeah.
Oh, would you go that door?
I just went straight. I went straight up the steps.
Hold on, before you do that, I'm gonna hold this in place.
Let him out.
He's
Go
learned
ahead, Mickey.
garage door, right?
Do
him
what
out.
you got to do, Mickey.
Yeah, one of the things.
Can we go to commercial break?
We could, but nobody's
Sponsored
sponsoring
by-
this show.
Dave at Leaning House is
No,
sponsoring this on. He doesn't know this yet.
No, he
Thank you,
he didn't
Dave.
provide the cigars for this show.
Yeah.
It's all about who provided the cigars.
Yeah, it was
So,
sponsored by
I
Mickey
did-
Pegg.
which was
at
Mickey Pegg.
All Saints Cigars.
I didn't have time to do a commercial.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what.
My new
Look up Wooden Indian in Havertown right now. Do a commercial for them where you could read off their website and help them with it.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'll pay you for it offline. I'll
What's
pay
the
before I
name?
leave.
Yeah.
What's the name of the cup? What's the name of the shop?
Wooden Indian in Havertown, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah.
so now
Because none of the retailers here, unless
Yeah.
do we have a retailer here that ships?
Not that I know of. Oh, Sam will be shipping at Just the Tip Cigars.
I'm not
there
paying
you
for
go.
Yeah.
Sam.
Wooden Indian Tobacco Shop.
No,
Yeah.
Wooden.
No, no, that's in Delaware
No, he doesn't.
County.
No.
Yeah, Eagle Road, Havertown.
All right, so talk about them.
Yeah, I don't actually, and I'm sure I will be corrected on this very shortly. But I do not have a retailer in the Pittsburgh area that ships right now.
No, well, fair
Um,
enough.
So, and Sam just corrected me and said he will be shipping with Just the Tip, which is very smart, by the way. Can I go into a COVID scenario with this by the shipping? But by
Yeah, I'll touch one thing and then
Yeah.
If
Hold-
you guys want anything from All Saints, give me a shout.
yeah,
He's Johnny on
absolutely.
the spot. I can
Yeah.
get you whatever you
So,
need.
yeah, Sam. Will
Wait. You're not taking money out of my pocket.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm on.
the man made a promise. So you need to make sure that you visit Wooden Indian Tobacco Shop, where the cigar lounge is as comfortable as an Indian. I don't know.
Flip your camera.
Yeah.
Oh, should we flip?
So that's
Yeah,
on,
we're on the empty chair.
Yeah.
And Mike,
Yeah.
on the Mike and Mickey.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So COVID.
Oh, okay.
During COVID, people were looking at, new ways of doing business. And the fact is, a lot of the old ways of just a bunch of guys sitting around smoking cigars, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of those guys just go away.
Yep. Yeah, that's a shame.
And the ones that survived were ones that thought outside of the box, because instead of thinking of your big online retailers as your big box, big online as a competition, they started thinking of themselves as, I can compete. And so when you go online to a lot of these large online retailers, it's like more of the same. It's a lot of the same.
You and I've talked
Yes.
a little bit about some of my future plans.
Sure.
We're
And,
not set
and,
on, so I don't want to talk about. But
and so when it comes to, they did two things. One, they did personal delivery. So they had either themselves or employees actually deliver cigars. Yeah, they stood on the corner and just actually rang up people on the corner of the street. And the third thing that retailers did that was very smart is they actually shipped.
Yeah.
So they would have a bunch of
They didn't actually ship before that.
That was meta.
They kind of did it, and if I'm speaking out of turn,
Speaking of Wooden Indian now.
so we're
Yeah.
still talking about Wooden Indian.
Well, I was talking about overall general, about
But yeah,
people that changed their
We,
concept.
hold on, we can't ignore how meta that just was, because as you were doing the plug, you had to grab the plug.
That's
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
Sure that the plug got onto the air.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll tell you something that was kind of funny. Was so our first container came in February 2020. A lot of time behind that, getting up to that point. But to keep this concise, especially the way I talk, is I was talking to Frank, and Frank's like, "Well, container comes in 2020."
Frank is his partner, by the way. Just letting you know.
Frank Leo, another freaking Air Force guy, and no, it's a dear friend. And so container comes in 2020. We're all giddy. It's all dedication. And I had about 40 accounts that I set up through an LE that we did with Solamente, but that was an accident. It's a whole other story. He goes, "What are we going to do?" Because we're going to do a press release on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, one of our favorite saints.
Happened to be the same month, COVID.
And so COVID goes, what we can do? So we kind of sat there. We weren't in a holding pattern. We really weren't overextended on any of our things. So really, and I had made a decision I was going to go back full time at that point. So people are reaching out to me on social media like, Mickey, how do I buy your cigars? Friends of friends.
Yep.
And I said, I know what I'm going to do, because I refuse to sell direct to consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I respect that.
And because I was raised in brick and mortar, and I know people could like curt that a little bit, but I'm like, what am I going to do? So literally, I loaded up my car full of product, because I said I'm not going to sell all of my car, but I did. I broke every Nexus law that there was in the world, and I delivered product from all the ways up from New York down to Northern Virginia. And then I would take their credit card and I would process it through the closest retailer to that driveway.
Yeah.
And even so, Dave from Wooden Indians going, are you going to invoice me? I'm like, Dave, I've sent 40 different places over 2 weeks. I'm not going to send you 40 different invoices. We'll do it once. I know you're good for the money. And I wasn't doing it as good faith in the beginning. I was just doing it like so I wouldn't go freaking berserko nuts. I did it for Cigar Mojo. I did it for all these guys. Route 7 down. I'm not going to name drop anymore, but
it's fine.
But it was a thing that I did, and like the good faith, and like these guys to this day, they're like, we'll carry everything you have, like because you did that. But I was just trying not to go crazy, like, and it was pretty cool because I got to interact with friends that I hadn't seen in a while that just jumped on like, hey, Mickey, I want to support you, to friends of friends. And I'm like, how do you know Mike King? How do you know whatever it was? And well, I went to Catholic University too, or I went over here, or I went to UPenn grad school. I was just behind you or whatever. Like, so it was like really cool. And, it was something, to that. And that's when, because a lot of these retailers all approached it a little bit different.
Sure.
Some were on pure lockdown and only go out the front door with gloves and blah, 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 blah. Some were the guy at the back door open and all that stuff.
Yep. Giggity.
And that helped me. And then, some of the old friends like Coop and all these other guys brought me on the podcast. And then we had that rating that August.
Yeah.
It was August 7th. It was on my anniversary, which was kind of cool. So it was all these like things, and it's some, people say you're having a tough day and all this stuff. Like when I left the cigar industry for whatever those reasons were, and I got into the financial world, it was the worst time to get in the financial world. We were in a recession, right?
Right.
So,
which time period was that? Because I said right.
That was like 09, 010. If you look at my LinkedIn, those are pretty accurate.
Let's say I assumed you meant during like the 2000s. That whole
late 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we also had S chip going on. The beginning of S chip. So
yeah, that's about when it started.
But that's when. So I did that, and that got me a lot of good faith that I didn't know. And I was literally in my car 14 to 21 days at a time, just going out. And then other brand owners or manufacturers were like, hey, listen, I'm doing an event this night. I know you're out and it's a Saturday or Sunday. You're not getting home anytime soon. Why don't you come and hang out? Let me introduce you to this retail owner. Because, I had a lot of old retail friends, but the climate and everything had changed. So,
yeah.
So when you talk about the way people reacted to COVID, and it's funny because even people that don't know the cigar industry, they're like, I heard that's one of the best cigar years of all time. You must have been, wow, you must have got lucky. And I'm like, no, jackass. I was behind the curtain. Nobody knew who the fuck my brand was.
I ran my balls off for like this much of the pie.
Well, and one last thing about Wooden Indian, which was really cool, is because they're saying to me now, Mickey, people aren't coming in and asking for, like, literally, I live a mile from this store.
Okay.
I can walk to the men. I can walk. It is a 12-minute walk from my front door to the men's grill in my country club that I've been a part of forever. It's a 45-minute walk home. The difference is staggering.
I got it.
No, but I don't know. I just can't explain how good and heartwarming when you're going through because we put when I say we, I'm talking about my wife, my kids, that we got them to a standard of living that they deserve, especially with all the travel and everything I do. To have them, because I'm not home. I've never really ever been home except for COVID.
We've been there.
That they deserve everything they get. And my 3 daughters are hardworking. We were just talking about daughters. Your beautiful daughter just walked down, and that was so cool to see that. Just popping in and saying hi to Pop. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm going off on a tangent again, but
we call it bird walking around here, and
but bird walking. But the whole thing was that how they responded to that, and that's what we did, and when anyone was very receptive to that, and at a time when it's hard to put yourself at having a shop open, you just get them what they want, right?
Yeah. Well, founded in 1959. The Woody and Indian Tobacco Shop and Cigar Lounge may be old school, but they have modern products for your needs, including online sales.
All right, can we shut up? Because the advertisement I'm paying for is getting really expensive.
You're paying them, by the second,
Let's talk about Cigar Mojo. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about Mike Dove.
Have you tried this Cameroon?
He hasn't.
Whiskey?
No, I haven't.
You need to make sure that's on.
Actually, I would like to talk about.
So the reason you haven't tried that is because you could only get it in one place, and I didn't see you there. That's actually a bourbon that was made in Pennsylvania with Aladino Cameroon tobacco, and I think they only produced 10 bottles, and they were only available at an event at Nelson Laguasto's Cigar Lounge.
I would say Aladino. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
so that is one of 10 bottles.
I don't know which Aladino.
Oh, that doesn't come up. Don't pull that up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I break everything. Well, Christian and I are buddies from a long time ago. So, and then Tom Lazuka and I we're buddies too. So.
I would like to say you mentioned he talked about the COVID part, but what we didn't talk about, unless I missed it, was Mickey's background. So when I'm presenting his cigars to either consumer or retailer, I like to say, hey, it's a 4-year young company with 30 years old.
Yep.
Well, no, we just had
4 years, right?
No, we just had our 30. November 1st.
Was
all
30
Saints
years?
Days was three.
Okay, well, 3 years young.
Officially.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay,
the idea. You should know this.
Well, the idea started 4 years ago. The company's official 3 years.
I know.
No, I wasn't doing it.
Right.
I know you know more about my company than.
But what I say is 30 years. 3 years young, 30 years old.
It's got a graphic.
And
wait till it takes your palate.
I say that because one of the big backgrounds is. And when it comes to All Saints, Mickey's just not another guy that wants to open them. I don't knock anybody out there that wants to. I mean, you and all three of us could open up a cigar brand tomorrow. We can call any of the factories down there. But one thing that's really important is his experience. And so when I'm actually selling to a retailer or a consumer, I like to say, hey, listen, this is somebody that actually has been in every position almost in the cigar industry and has quite a background from the very beginning, from almost 30 years ago. And, that's something I think would be interesting to hear his story before, the podcast ends.
Another origin story?
Yeah, it's very important to hear this origin story because it separates All Saints cigars from everything else.
We will warn you. Mm-hmm. So the one thing the junkies don't do is what everybody else does.
What's that?
We don't allow you to say your pre-canned script that you've said on other podcasts.
So you can say it.
Well, listen.
You can say it's something
but
different.
We're going to fuck
But
with
do you know how I've secretly worked in bits and pieces
I've
of it?
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
It's got to be compelling.
So did you see him nudging me to put that in? Yeah, okay, yeah.
I feel like it was the opposite of that because he wanted to talk about the whiskey more, and you were like, no, let me plug it.
I don't want to talk about Aladino. They got enough love out there.
So now you know how you feel about David Garofalo.
It's made with it, but it is not made by them.
It smells like a grappa. Am I going crazy?
It's pretty young too, but
yeah, it's very, very
interesting.
Young. Very youthful. Give it time on your tongue when you take the first sip. You want to give it a little bit extra time to kind of get rid of that youth and let that wash over because you're gonna have some of that.
And then I'm glad you explained that because sometimes when you have an opportunity if I bring something young back to the factory and I let Mike smoke it, he knows is it young age whatever. Like he knows. Like, but even with seasoned people, sometimes you have to repeat. Like, we're going into the bung hole here.
Yeah,
we're doing a barrel. I like to call it barrel tasting.
Yeah.
When you bring something back and you're like, it's still young, so you got to know that this is going to calm down, this is going to accelerate, whatever. So yeah. So I get it, but no matter how much you explain that to somebody,
they're
like, no, this cigar is not ready. No shit, fucking Sherlock. I just told you.
You could have told them 100 times
that it was rolled literally 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I did my own drying, like put it in my own sick room for like, which is
you're gonna taste that green, let it wear off.
Outside.
He gave me a button that I don't have, and I'm so disappointed in myself for not having it. No, you keep talking about the young, and all I keep thinking is, all right. And that's what I like about these the high school girls. I get older, and they stay the same age.
Best thing about high school girls, no matter how old I get, they stay the same.
But you need to have it's so funny when you say, hey, listen, this is young, and they're like, I get it, I know what you're talking about, and then they're like, oh, it's not ready yet. Like, no shit.
Yeah, I told you that.
Is it not ready for the time period that it's been rolled, or is it not ready for? So, so that and thank you for explaining that to me, because I think one of the reasons why there's been such this thirst and growth of intensity in cigars all started from rolling events. Because people, you told them, don't smoke it right away.
Yeah.
And they did. And some people like the gas. So if you talk about like drunk chicken cigars or drunken chicken cigars.
Right.
I love, like, I was like ready to hear this interview. And she did an interview with a podcast out of Florida. And
what's her name?
She's out of DC.
Desiree or Desiree. I should know her name, because she really fucking impresses the shit out of me with all her fucking chickens, and she's a weird kook.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to be in this business.
Yeah.
And she goes, I like them gassy and I like them young. She didn't say those words. And Desiree, if you're listening, I'm sorry, like to interpret you, but she's like, that's what I like, and a lot of people like that. So like it's funny, because I said, is that grappa? It tastes like grappa. And you said it was young.
Yeah.
Because grappa will always taste young, right? Grappa always does. It's from the skins, right?
Yeah. You still got that. You have that earthiness behind the sweetness. You got to let that fade out. You got to let that.
It might get too good, and it's not the taste you're chasing. We're talking about chasing pairings. Depends on your mood, right?
Yeah.
I laugh because sometimes I don't come across the best way when I say shit, and I'm like, I'm a moody smoker. And I'm like, it depends on my mood of what I want to do.
Dude, I say that constantly. Is people are like, what's your favorite cigar? It depends on what I'm doing. Depends on the day. Like, I love the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne.
Yeah.
It's a great cigar.
Who doesn't?
I also love the Pissed Off Christoph and the Vengeance.
Yeah.
And I love everything in between. It depends on the day, the drink, the meals, the attitude. It depends on what I'm doing.
My favorite customers at events are, hey, what's your favorite cigar? And they say, hey, whatever I feel like today.
Yeah.
That's like money to me. I mean, that's like, because it's perfect, because whatever I have to offer is going to fit his palate somewhere or her palate somewhere.
Right. And I think people like it. This is a subjective business for sure. Like this is great, by the way. The sweetness in this, I can taste some of like that.
You're going to get more salt out of that because of Condega, but there is some Criollo.
But there's a really good sweetness on the back end, like on the back side of my tongue.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then, like you said, it's real dry on the front of my tongue. Fantastic. With the Wee Beastie, amazing. I don't know that I would like it as much with the double rye as I do with the Wee Beastie.
Well, that should conflict with the double. It should.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So like, because you have
rule of thumb,
that bite with it, where the Wee Beastie has that oil, that scotch, that Isla just roll over my tongue. So I'm really enjoying that. And I think but that's me. You might hate that. He might love that. And he might be like, it's whatever. Like, I love that it's just, you have to try the different cigars, people. Like,
right.
So I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but, when people come and I'm doing an event and I'm talking about my cigars, especially when you go to that retailer, like Mike and I were talking about this earlier, like you're sitting there and the retailer they carry your product. Let's assume they carry your product. Okay. because sometimes you could be on a sales call and you're trying to get in there, you know, for the initial placement. Say they carry your product and say they're happy with your product, right? Let's take all the positives. And then fucking jackass takes him in and doesn't say, hey, that's my king. He represents such and such.
Right.
It's a little bit different. Like with Mike, like if Mike's in the room, then you say, well, he's got Aganorsa, he's got All Saints, he's got Line of Duty, he's got what's the other one?
La Galera.
All solid stuff, right? He can really take you around this humidor. If the owner's there or the principal's there, like, hey, by the way, there's Mickey over there.
Yeah.
Right? And like they don't do that. I'm like, sometimes today it happened a lot.
Yeah, I brought that up to him because we were at a lounge where the manager that was there, every person that walked in off the street,
he's like,
hey, do you know Mickey Pegg? This is Mickey Pegg. This is Mike King. Hey, let me show you what they have. It doesn't matter. Every single person, that's so much appreciated, like you cannot even imagine.
But still respect. You showed up for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up for you. Like,
Not only that, but I think that way too many cigar retailers don't understand the amount of business that they're leaving on the table by having this passive sales tactic. Like,
listen, the owner's there, so the owner or the principal's there, or somebody like, I'm going to quit name dropping all my buddies out there, but like, they might be able to talk that guy into a fucking box at a dead hour sale, you know, whatever. Like, not talk them into something that they don't want, but something that like it could be a great situation. So, you know, but I guess the biggest thing is that, you know, you have an opportunity to tell your story.
Yeah.
Back to where this is going back. Unfortunately, sometimes you ask me what time it is and I build you a watch. Is my first question is, what do you normally smoke?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you into something that you already like and do, but I at least need to be in the vicinity, whether it's strength, not body, not body and flavor.
Yeah, strength.
Right? How do we do strength? So I don't want you to put you on something that you, and then I like to ask, kind of in a way, I don't know how I do it. Mike listens to me more than I listen to myself. Is, are you sweet or salt?
Right.
And then I know which one of my cigars lean towards the sweet, and I know which one leans towards the salt.
Right.
Now you can have that honest conversation and direct conversation because that's what those tobaccos do. Now I have two of my other cigars where I actually hit the flavor wheel, and it drives me fucking crazy hitting the flavor wheel, but I have to give them something.
Sure.
So like the Colorado, I say salted caramel. Because guess what? It's got Candega, it's got fucking Jalapa in there, it's got Criollo.
Yeah,
right?
it's just at a much smaller level of.
And then
like,
my Habano has so
power.
much goddamn jalapa in it.
Yeah.
It's sweet. So if you said to me, this, like I don't feel guilty about saying Candega has salt or jalapa has sweet, because that's what it is.
Right.
But when I have to look at, when I talk about my Colorado and I say salsa caramel, I'm like, fuck, I just hit the flavor wheel, you know? And it's like, everybody has their own flavor wheel and people make fun of it. But you know what? We need something for muscle memory.
Right. Dude.
Whether you identify with that or not, in Habano, I say red licorice.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I fucking hate that. I don't know a better way to say it because I'm not that good of a wordsmither, but you know,
Yeah, you don't have a dartboard with it. Just fucking
the way I look at the first question I asked at Lean In House every time somebody came in, what are you drinking with it? And I let that decide.
Yeah.
With that note, where are you at time wise? Because I know you.
Yeah, we're running it out. So yeah, I gotta. This is I have a stupid start time tomorrow. I've got to be in work at 3:30 a.m., which means I have to get up at 1:30, which is super awesome. But it always seems to fall on days where we have a guest.
Yeah,
right. Where it's like,
how
man,
minutes?
we could do
how many minutes are we away from being the longest show ever?
We
wouldn't. Yeah. Well, it depends on how you quantify it.
Yeah, there was.
You had an hour. Listen, I stalked you motherfuckers on the way here.
I think our longest show was 3 hours and 24.
So was that?
I don't want to win that battle.
Yeah,
Can I ask who that was with?
Well, so
Saka.
we also had a show that I forgot to hit the record button on.
Oh,
So
shit.
we did our longest show, then we had a break where we still talked about cigars, then we did another one that ended up.
Well, nobody wants to hear anymore.
Yeah, nice practice, everybody. Let's do it again.
We call it the lost episode. It was a terrible experience.
We could do it all night, but unfortunately, that would, in my old age, leave me very tired in the morning.
I really appreciate you guys.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me.
Whenever you are in town, you are welcome here.
We were super stoked. I mean, we had this planned before he landed, pretty much. We had this arranged before he landed.
And it started when he took off.
Yeah. So as soon as you took off, he messaged me. So because the original plan was I was going to hit up you, Sam, and we were going to go hang out with you for, show him around. And then Corey hit me up, and I said, and it all just worked out. It works. Perfect. So when he landed, I gave him a schedule, and I said, we're going to be doing a podcast.
I called him, and he's like, wait, am I talking to you or Corey? Because I'm texting him. I was like, you and I are going to just settle
my
this
thumbs
right
were
now.
like
We're just
freaking arthritis. I mean,
well, Corey and I went back and forth all week the last time I was in town.
It's right. Well, so me and you.
Yeah, we missed you by like 2 seconds every time.
We start the conversation and then we divert it to our people.
Yeah.
So
that's all.
All right. So summarize last little 5-minute plug, or 2-minute plug. Where are you going to be while you're here, and what are you going to be doing there? Just simple layman's terms.
I don't know why you're looking at him.
Well, that's you. I don't know.
All right, so just to let you know, tomorrow we'll be doing a lot of what we call prospecting, kind of introducing Mickey to other places that are already familiar. So we're going to start tomorrow morning at Smokestack. We're going to see Greg and Tim. If you don't know,
we're starting tomorrow. I thought we were going to Smokestack from here.
I'm not Smokestack. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm already 2 minutes. We're going to Smokestack in a minute.
Okay.
So because it's a late night spot, when Josh is a freaking monster machine and he doesn't start work until 9 p.m. after he's out of the 2 jobs. So we're going to Dirty Dog in the morning with Greg and Tim.
Dude.
And so we're going to see, and he's going to have a great experience with Tim. I love Tim. He and I did the same thing. 30 years apart, we did the same thing in the military. He was a Marine, though, so he's always a Marine. I hung it up when I retired. And then after that, we will be heading to... we're going to go see Sammy.
Okay.
Yeah, Stogie Bird, yep. Probably going to hang out with Mr. the one and only Island Jim tomorrow.
There you go.
We're just going to go to
Leaf and Bean?
No, actually go to his private spot.
Okay.
And just
which one?
His private club he's got.
Lawrenceville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one in Lawrenceville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Club Leaf and Bean, but the
right.
Yeah,
right.
his private spot.
Gotcha.
And then we have
Superior.
So Superior's Friday night.
So Thursday night we might end up at Bend.
Blend.
Yeah, same thing.
Blend Blend by Davidoff downtown.
So Corey Johnson's one of my old dear friends from my Davidoff days.
So Blend is actually my wife and I's hang out because it's 3 blocks from our house. So and Rocky Croyle is the manager there, great guy. So we'll probably be there tomorrow evening to finish up. Anybody wants to come see us. They don't close till midnight, by the way. Great drinks, great cigars, and they will have All Saints there tomorrow.
Cool.
One way or another.
Yeah. They should have arrived today. So
nice.
And then Friday, we'll probably do a short stop to see my friend Brendan over at Smoke Cigar Lounge owned by Casey.
In Bridgeville?
Yep, in Bridgeville.
Casey and Stephanie
Stephanie are
friends
great folks. And, Brendan's been a friend of mine for many, many years. So we'll probably go in there just to do a real quick pop-in. But we are going to do our final big hoorah party. I will say Mark Holbein from Superior Smoke Shops has been a huge supporter of All Saints Cigars from day one. A huge support of my company, selfish plug, Flightlines Brokering. From day one, he's bought everything I carry. He's a good friend. So we will be at...
which location?
We'll be at the Heights over Natrona Heights. So it starts at 5 p.m. That's their annual Christmas party.
Yep.
So please come by. They have a beautiful lounge in the basement.
And we're gonna find Eric wherever Eric is. We're gonna find
Eric. Eric. I don't know where you are. I know. You guys probably know Eric. He's all over the place. Eric works over at Butler, part time. So we're trying to squeeze that in. It's really hard, but I love those guys at Butler / Slippery Rock. So
cool, man.
yeah, so
sounds like you guys got a packed couple.
yeah,
days
it's
coming up on
it's
be.
sad.
It's like I flew
Well,
here,
it's great.
He's
Mickey's
like,
in
I flew out
town,
to Pittsburgh
but
and I'm
it's
sitting
also
in a guy's garage.
yeah, but it's also sad because there's so much to see in Pittsburgh, so many people to meet. And I really want to just, I mean, if I had it my way, I'd have Mickey up here for 2 weeks straight.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
But that's just not possible. So,
cool. Well,
You kids know where to find us every Friday at 6 o'clock on the Facebook Live. You guys can join the conversation and hang out with us.
Bro,
some Wednesdays,
you got
man.
Mo
Some
coming
Wednesdays.
on.
Some
You got
Wednesdays.
Mo,
Friday,
big
buddy.
Mo.
So we'll have Mo of Patina this week. Otherwise, you can catch us on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast platforms. We want to thank Mickey Pegg, and Mike King.
From All States Cigar.
All States.
You're in good hands. but,
You're in good hands with Mickey Pegg.
Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate having you guys out here. And
Thanks for having me, guys.
We had a good time.
All right.
Salud.
Fantastic.
See ya.